To err is human. Even though we expect the best from these players, they still prove to be humans in beastly forms though. Number 6. When Nigel De Jong decided to practice his kung fu kicks during the 2010 World Cup games. This happened during the final match of the World Cup between Holland and Spain. Nigel was nicknamed the lawnmower as he cuts down everything in his way, and this time, not grass, but the legs of other football players. He and Han van Brummel made a vicious pair in the World Cup. While Van Brummel swept balls from players, Nigel De Jong swept their legs. But in the final, he decided to aim a bit higher from the leg to practice his kicks and landed a crazy kung fu kick straight into the heart of Xavi Alonso. In the video, we see Van Brummel also lurking around the corner, as if to indicate that if De Jong doesn't get him, he was ready to clear him off. After the game, Nigel wished he would have done better, and since he claims to regret his actions, we can cut him some slack and dismiss his actions because apparently to err is human, right? Number 5. While Nigel De Jong was delivering epic kung fu kicks, Suarez couldn't miss an opportunity to drive his teeth into his opponent's skin. First of all, it could be that a football game can quickly turn into a wrestling match the moment players come under intense pressure. This must have been the case for Suarez, but the confusion is whether we'd call this a mistake, as he demonstrated this behavior on 3 different occasions. Clearly, when a mistake is done 3 times, we can immediately agree that this is now a decision. So, first time this happened, Suarez was a player at Ajax, and in an encounter with Otmar Bakal, the striker couldn't help but have a piece of the player's skin in his mouth as he bit him on the shoulder. Suarez got a 7-match ban, but this didn't stop him from doing it 2 other times while in 2 different clubs. The second time his teeth were out, he was playing for Liverpool, and in confrontation with Ivanovic, Suarez couldn't help but grab the player's arm and dig his teeth into his soft flesh. Again, he was handed a 10-match ban. But it didn't end there. He had to display his biting skill to his countrymen as well, and he got his chance in the 2014 World Cup, when Uruguay played Italy. This time, Giorgio Chiellini was the one that got his skin marked with the striker's teeth. He got a 4-month ban and missed 11 games before returning to Barcelona. Number 4. So while Suarez ends up biting players and getting banned, Zidane rather used his head against a player and ended up losing a World Cup title. You may be familiar with this story and how it is a mistake that cost Zidane his career and how it stopped his country from winning the World Cup. What must have caused such a terrible temper to rise in the legendary Frenchman? Well, I will tell you. In the final of the 2006 World Cup, the calm-looking midfielder graced the pitch with his divine presence. He handled the ball with grace and style. He played a central role in bringing his team to the World Cup finals. But sadly, the graceful and majestic player got ruffled by Maserati in a bit of verbal altercation. The Italian made a negative comment about Zidane's sister. He lost his gracefulness and angrily struck his head into the Italian's chest. Zidane got a card and was sent out of the pitch. And that was the last time the Frenchman ever tied a boot and got into the field, because he retired the same year. Number 3. And the aggression continues this time. It finds Pepe, who tries to kick his way to the goal through an opponent's body. Mistakes like this definitely affect the confidence of a player, and most likely become a stigma. And while he appears tough and stubborn, there is still a soft core behind the fierce demeanor. For Pepe, this mistake shook him so much that he wanted to even retire from the game of football.
Com tristeza que temos capacidade de poder ganhar esse mundial. A sensação e a arrogância do árbitro dentro do campo. Posso apostar tudo que eu tenho que a Argentina vai ser campeão. De 9 árbitros, eu estava hoje aqui no campo, 5, se não me engano, são argentinos. Por isso, o que é que eu posso falar mais? Vamos ver no final para ver quem vai ganhar.
He is very famous for his notoriety in Real Madrid and his aggressive defensive style. While players can boast of personal achievements at least, Pepe can boast of having 5 red cards and 79 yellow cards while at Real Madrid. And while it seems like the defender was just a beast who always wanted to see the blood of strikers from the opposing team, like when he struck Lionel Messi in the hand during the 2012 El Clasico, his viciousness was amplified when he and Sergio Ramos formed a partnership and embraced a win-at-all-costs mentality. They didn't waste any time engaging in the dark arts of defensive strategy. But despite this hardcore strategy, Pepe still had one incident that made him regret his actions, and that was when he was sent off the pitch for kicking Getafe Javi Casquero. The scoreline was at 2-2, and the pressure was high on the players to perform a miracle and give their team victory. It was in the heat of this moment that Pepe crushed Casquero to the ground and furiously kicked him twice. The second one struck the midfielder's back. He didn't stop his attack there, but went ahead to throw a punch at Juan Albin, who confronted him. Number 2. And for this person, many may not easily associate him with aggression.
The best players always follow the best players. They want to be in the top of the game because they are the ones they are there. You know, you cannot rest or sleep because the other one can pass you. Of course, we fight with everyone. With Neymar, with Messi, with Lewandowski, with Higuain, you know, with the top of the best players in the world. So, I mean, this is not fighting, but it's hard, it's healthy. You know, comparisons is healthy, and we fight, you know, to be the best. This is why it's my main point, it's my motivation, it's to be better than them, year after year. And he said to me, Cristiano.
But Ronaldo may have shown his dark side during his encounter with Atletico Madrid while he was in Real Madrid. Cristiano Ronaldo holds 5 Ballon d'Ors and is Messi's #1 contender, as they have been exchanging the title with each other for the past 12 years. However, he has his moments of darkness, and they are not really pleasant to witness. Like the time he was gunned down by a tackle from Atletico Madrid's Gabi. He couldn't help but kick the defender in the face, and luckily for Gabi, the boot only just whisked against his face, as Cristiano Ronaldo was shown the red card for his actions. And this was not the first instance the striker has displayed this kind of temper. Remember the time at Manchester United, when he was shown the red card for kicking Edemar in the game against Cordoba? Yes, there's a dark side to the great Cristiano Ronaldo, and as we say, to err is human, right? Number 1, and we can't end this list without talking about the most aggressive defender and most red card defender in the world, with 19 red cards and 148 yellow cards. While we can all agree that to err is human, Sergio Ramos may be an exception, as he is the most violent player in Europe, and we have lost count of the number of players he has injured. There are 2 recent incidents that show how reckless he could be on the pitch. In the Champions League final between Real Madrid and Liverpool, he forcefully pulled down Mohamed Salah, causing him to break his shoulder and leave the match. In the same match, he used his elbow to deliver a blow to Luis Karius right on the jaw. The crazy thing was that this attack affected Luis's performance so much, preventing him from seeing clearly, which led to 2 goals passing him by and flying into the net. Sadly, there was not a single booking from the referee for those actions, and that's because Ramos has developed a lot of experience in committing terrible fouls when the referee is not looking. Like in the La Liga match between Real Madrid and Alves, where Sergio elbowed Jonathan Calleri twice in the jaw without getting booked again. Crazy, right? Clearly it is, but these are moments that show how passionate the game can be, and how players can react angrily when under pressure or attack. That's it, guys. Do let us know in the comments section what other times players have lost their cool and attacked other players violently while on the field. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can join our community of football lovers, so that we can share more amazing football videos like this one. Meanwhile, send us flowers by liking and sharing the video with your friends and family. Until next time, bye.